Andrew, it's time to do your section.
Welcome to today's Sabbath School.
Wait,
Wait, did he mean you?
I thought he meant me.
Well, they call me Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, they call me the same
You-
thing.
that's
I mean,
true, because both of our names are Andrew. That makes
that's,
sense.
That's true.
Not
Oh.
you, the other Andrew.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Wait.
Well, names.
Let's
Let's talk about that. Hey guys, and welcome to this week's Sabbath School Short. This week we're looking at lesson number 4, which is titled An Everlasting Covenant. Remember, we want you to follow along with us as we kind of skim over the main ideas of the lesson. So down in the description box is a link to the lesson. Pull up that lesson. If you have a physical copy, go grab it, journey along with us. Now that you have your lesson pulled out, let's look at the memory text this week, which is found in Genesis 17, verse 7. And it says this: I, God, will establish my covenant between me and you, Abraham, and your descendants after you, throughout their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your descendants after you. And for your sake, for your knowledge, this week we're going to be kind of combining some lessons. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday's lesson, we're going to kind of combine into one lesson by primarily focusing on Tuesday's lesson, which is titled Abram to Abraham. Now put on those critical thinking caps as I show you this visual. Mars, Abram to Abraham. How does that connect? How does that make sense? Well, when I think about Mars, I think about the fact that we really don't know a lot about it, but we do know somewhat about it. We've actually sent rovers to Mars that have actually kind of gone over the surface of Mars and have taken pictures, videos, and all these kinds of things. And it's actually really interesting that NASA holds these massive kind of competitions to name their rovers. And then actually in 2019, they kind of kicked off this big, huge competition where it resulted in about 28,000 essay submissions from schools all over the United States. And the kid who won, his name is Alex Mather. He's a 7th grader, and he won the essay competition. And this is a quote from his essay. It says this: "We are a species of explorers, and we will meet many setbacks on the way to Mars. However, we can persevere. We, not as a nation but as humans, will not give up. The human race will always persevere into the future." And it was because of this essay that NASA decided to name the rover Perseverance. It's interesting to me how much time and effort NASA puts in to naming their rovers. And I think it's because they get this idea that a name carries meaning. It carries weight. It conveys a message of intent, of a mission, of purpose. And this is something that's very especially true in the Bible. So Abram to Abraham had a deep meaning, especially to Abram. But what exactly was that meaning?
Andrew, you're on?
Me, yes. As Andrew alluded to, names in the Bible had great significance, and especially for Abram, where, to give context, God had just made a covenant with Abram that he would give Abram children. And for further context, Abram was 99 years old at that time, and Sarah, his wife, was barren. And so to help to give Abram a sign that God would fulfill his promise, he changed Abram's name, which Abram meant father is exalted, to Abraham, which meant father of a multitude.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
No, that's a solid point, Andrew, because it's really true. The Bible names have such a meaning, and the lesson kind of drives home this point, this idea that God changed his name to carry that sign of like, I will fulfill this. And it makes me think, kind of translating it to today, what God calls us today, that God calls us by our name, that personal name And not just our earthly name. I think he has a heavenly name for us. I don't know. He knows who we are, and he calls us by that thing. And we get to enter into that and listen to that call and be with him. So I think that's super cool. So that kind of wraps up Sunday, Monday's, and Tuesday's lesson. We really focused on Tuesday. Go read Sunday and Monday because it's talking about the names of God. And those are very significant as well and carry deep meaning. So go check out those lessons. But flip over with me to Wednesday's lesson, which is titled Covenant Stages. I hope you're following along. You can see that on Wednesday's lesson. Put on your thinking caps as you think about covenant stages and this video. A movie set, covenant stages. How does this all connect? Think about the movies maybe that you've seen recently. I know a lot of the movies that I've seen, and they all kind of have this common theme, right? And it's something that we really like to enjoy. We like to see the good guys win, right? We like to see people getting saved. We like to see good triumph in the end. No matter how hard good is struggling, it always triumphs in the end, right? And that's kind of interwoven into all these movies that we see. And a lot of these movies that we watch is this story of good and evil fighting, but good ultimately winning in the end. You know, you think of Star Wars, I think of Avengers, I think of all these kinds of different movies, where the good wins in the end. And this is kind of the point that almost kind of Wednesday is illustrating with this idea of covenant stages. And look at this quote here with me. It says this: the meaning of the name Abraham underscores God's desire and design to save all peoples. The many nations would include both Jews and Gentiles. And Abraham's name is signifying this fact that it's always been God's intention to save everybody. And so, as I was thinking about a movie set, it's kind of interesting that we're kind of on God's movie set right now. And we're here, and in the end, good wins. And God is seeking and wanting to save everybody, not just a select few people, but everybody. That's his goal. That is what he wants to do. And we get to be vessels in that as we're kind of interacting on this movie set, if you will, that God has and this great controversy that's playing out in front of us. But good wins in the end, and we can know that and bring people into that message. So that's kind of Wednesday wrapped up in a little nutshell. Now let's look over at Thursday's lesson, which is titled Covenant Obligations. Think about that title as I show you this video. Socks. What does socks have to do with covenant obligations? When I think of socks, I think that it would be super annoying if I only had one sock. Sometimes your laundry just eats your other sock and it disappears, right? And then that sock is just gone forever. And where did that sock go, right? And it would be crazy, right, if you just wore one sock and then put a shoe on and then left your other foot barefoot and then put on a shoe, right? You'd be uncomfortable. It wouldn't be nice. Or if you had a dry sock and a wet sock, right? It just wouldn't work. Socks are meant to be used together as a pair, right? You need both of them in order to fulfill their requirement of what they do to cover your feet, right? And it's the same thing that Thursday's kind of driving home this point. Because when I think about covenant obligations, in order for a covenant to work, both sides have to be in cooperation with each other. Just like the socks, right? You have to have both socks in order for them to do their purpose, right? The covenant requires both sides in agreement with each other in order to move forward. And this is what Thursday, this obligation that Abraham had to God was to simply obey his voice and follow him and go wherever he tells him to go. And this quote kind of summarizes this. It says, the blessings of the covenant could not be enjoyed or maintained unless certain conditions were met by the beneficiaries. Though the conditions were not needed to establish the covenant, meeting them was to be the response of love, faith, and obedience. And it's this thing that God has made a covenant with Abraham, and it's his job to respond and listen to his voice so that covenant can be maintained. And we're living in this new covenant today where God is writing his laws upon our hearts, and he simply is asking the same thing that he asked Abraham so long ago. Follow me. Listen to my voice. Follow me. And it's this amazing journey that we get to embark on as we follow God and as we walk with him in this new covenant that he's made with us. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Sabbath School Short. As you know, this Sabbath School Short is designed to kind of be the milk of the lesson. The meat is the lesson itself. And so go dive into that lesson. And if you haven't read it this week, go ahead and read those lessons. Journey through the Bible and the ideas and the themes it talks about, and really unpack the lesson for yourself. We hope, and as you do that, think about the images, think about the videos that we've showed you here as you're going through that lesson, so you can really get something out of it for yourself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. If you could give a thumbs up for this video, subscribe to Advent Blueprint, we would love that. We hope to see you next week on Sabbath School Short.